when you think of KTM, you think vibrant, exciting, sprightly machines. I mean, the whole mantra is ready to race. So naturally, in 2017, when KTM's 1290 Super Adventure S exploded on the scene, KTM created a sexy orange missile with a huge tank and even bigger touring potential. Fast forward to 2022 and this is KTM's most advanced 1290 Super Adventure yet. So stick around and stay tuned for why I think this is a young adventurer's weapon of choice. So you're at the pub with your mates and you tell them that you fancy getting a touring bike, an adventure bike, and they absolutely start ripping the piss out of you. Mate, you are far too young for an adventure bike. Oh my god, are you hanging your leathers up? What's going on? Are you having a quarter life crisis? But I'm gonna lump the reasons why I think that this is a younger person's adventure bike into 3 categories, and I'm going to explain myself now. Reason number 1, fun factor. Now, young people and fun go hand in hand. Fun, stupid, usually make terrible decisions. But one of the reasons why this bike is so fun is because it is one of the more powerful adventure bikes in the segment. Now don't get me wrong, it's not the most powerful adventure bike. The Super Adventure S is rocking 160 horsepower, and then we have the Multistrada V4 which is putting out 170. However, this bike also produces 138 Newton meters of torque, which is actually quite a bit more than the Ducati V4. If my memory serves me right, I think that's working with 121 Newton meters of torque. And then I know you're going to say to me, yeah, but it's not the torquiest adventure bike on the market. You've got the BMW 1250 GS with 143. And that's true, but the BMW also only has 136 brake horsepower as opposed to this with its 160. And with a dry weight of 220 kilograms, the power to weight ratio on this bike is absolutely insane. And again, it's category leading. So a decent power to weight ratio always equals fun. Another reason why it's fun is just the brand. KTM, it's vibrant, it's bright. Its aesthetics are probably the most modern of an adventure bike. It doesn't look like you have to be a granddad to own one. We've got really bright, kind of futuristic LED lights. It looks modern, it looks with the times. But of course, all looks are subjective. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So that brings me on to my second reason why I think this is a younger person's bike. And the second reason is handling. Now, cornering behaviour is extremely important for anybody who, you know, likes a bit more of a sprightly ride. And one of the ways that KTM have improved the handling, the steering of this Super Adventure compared to its predecessor is they've messed around with the geometry of the bike in a positive way. So they've actually brought the steering head rearwards by 15 mil, which doesn't sound a lot, but it is giganticus in geometry terms. And because of that, it has a steeper rake, which is much better for sweeping corners and quick turns. Another way in which KTM have created arguably one of the best handling bikes adventure bikes on the market is just by rotating the engine by 2 degrees, and it doesn't seem like a lot when you say it out loud, but it really aids in, you know, keeping the bike stable under acceleration, which is obviously great for handling. Woo! She sings. And then finally, the third reason why I think this is the perfect adventure bike slash touring bike for a younger person is because it is loaded with technology. And you know, I'm not saying there's older lads and ladies out there who don't appreciate a bit of tech. My granddad Don is getting on a bit in life. He has all the mod cons. He's got the latest iPhones, he's got everything. So obviously this doesn't apply to everyone, there's exceptions to rules, but generally, you know, younger people are a bit more receptive to a lot of technology, and this is loaded with it. So where do I start with the tech? This bike specifically has a tech pack which involves pretty much all of the tech possible for this bike. And I'm going to go through what a tech pack actually involves. You can buy these for your Super Adventure S in isolation. Say you wanted to cherry pick certain elements, you could. You don't need to, you know, spend £1,000 on the tech pack if you wouldn't find a need for it all. But I'm going to tell you what it's got. So you can get hill hold control for this bike. I saw recently somebody said on Instagram, oh, if you need hill hold control, then you shouldn't have a bike, basically. But you know what? We're not all bloody daddy long legs like you, pal. There are some of us that are daddy short legs out there, and we need all the bloody help we can get. So you can get hill hold with this. Again, you can switch it off, so don't know why people are grumbling. Another piece of tech that you can get for this is motor slip regulation. So motor slip regulation is basically technology where if you dramatically downshift or chop the throttle, the bike is clever. So what will happen is the throttle valves will work the magic to introduce a bit of throttle to the optimum amount that will stop your back end kind of drifting away. So it works counter to the traction control. Another bit of tech we've got with this pack, we've got a quick shifter, a bi-directional one. Quick shifters, bi-directional, can be quite important to some people. I like them, but I'm lazy. Ooh. Yeah, boy. Other things you can get as an accessory with this is Suspension Pro. Now, the technology of the suspension settings with Suspension Pro is obscene. It deserves a video just in its own right, which I'm gonna do, because it's so detailed and there's so much customization, it really is ridiculous. So with a tech pack you get a rally pack as well, which basically gives you rally mode. You get heated grips, they are an optional extra, but do you remember when your mum used to say to you, oh, put your big coat on, you'll be cold if you go out, and you're like, nah, I don't need it, mum. Well, this is basically the equivalent of that in an adventure bike form. Young people, meh, heated grips, schmeated grips, we don't need them. I'm not speaking for myself, I'm a wimp. I would have liked heated grips on this as standard. There's an adaptive brake light, so if the proverbial hits the fan and you need to really slam on and put those Brembos to work, the rear light just flashes on and off really quick, just to kind of let people know, something's gone a bit wrong. I know I was going to go into the suspension on another video in more depth, but just touching on it, you've got different levels of, you know, automatic preload adjustment. So you've basically kind of got what you've got on the GS, the auto, min and max. With the Suspension Pro, you can adjust the damping of the forks, you can adjust the preload of the shock. Like, it's pretty obscene. And you can switch anti-dive on or off. So if you like that feeling that's, you know, more akin to a sports bike, where you're whacking it on and then you're braking, so you dip in, you dive in. Or if you like that floaty feeling like you get with telelever suspension, then you can mimic it. So yeah, there's somebody that recently got called a grandma for owning a BMW motorcycle. I definitely don't think I would have got called a grandma for owning a KTM. Hence why I have come to the conclusion that a KTM is a young adventurer's adventure bike of choice. Now, before the woke brigade come for me, before the politically correct and argumentative folk hit my comments in droves, I know that you can still be young in the mind and older in the body, and there's nothing that's exclusively restricting KTMs to young people. It was just a little fun take on this adventure bike. Well guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. Let me know what you think about the KTM 1290 Super Adventure S in the comments below. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. And until the next time guys, take care and ride safe. Signing out.